Hi, and welcome to another episode of Friendly Plastic TV. I'm your host, Linda Peterson of Linda Peterson Designs. And I thought what we would do on today's show is focus in on how to create jewelry that matches the colors that you have in your wardrobe. So get out the Friendly Plastic, get out the alcohol inks, and come join me. One of the staples that I have in my studio are alcohol inks. I use them for a variety of projects, and the one thing I love about them is there's this sort of mystery that goes along when you start blending colors and making new ones, wondering what color you'll come up with. And I also love the ability that I can customize my colors so that they match my wardrobe. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using alcohol inks and blending them a little bit and applying them to friendly plastic and make a beautiful pair of springtime earrings. What I have here is a little container full of 91% alcohol, and I have my selection here of alcohol inks. I'm using watermelon and an orange and a yellow because I have some pretty bright front colors in my wardrobe. So dip your brush and get a little bit of alcohol onto your brush there, and I'm using a strip of friendly plastic. I've actually cut this strip in half. This is the back side of the friendly plastic. It's just a plain matte white, and the front has what we call a pearl foil on top, and this is kind of pretty because it allows a little bit of metallic sheen. So you can just apply some of your alcohol. This is what's going to help the colors kind of run together and blend. Let me get this out of the way. And then on the back surface that you see here, this is a Silpat sheet. It's a non-stick work surface. You can get those at your cooking supply stores, your kitchen stores, and just applying some color. Eventually the alcohol will evaporate and these colors will dry. And the other nice thing about using alcohol is that they're transparent, so anything that is in the back of, or that you're applying it to, is going to show through. So whether that's a texture or a pattern, it shows through, and that's kind of nice too. So let's blend a little bit more here. I'm going to switch over to this one because it already has some color that's been applied and is dry, and I'm going to move in the camera so that you can see that I've got little puddles, little water droplets here, and that is done simply by adding the alcohol directly onto the dried alcohol ink. And you can see I can lift away, so I can create a variety of pattern such as the one that I've done here. All of these dark areas are where the alcohol has puddled out, so you can see that I've got quite a bit of different shading that's going on here. I've got some yellows and some pinks and some oranges. Now let's go back to this one that I just did because it's not quite dry yet, and that's another little technique that I will show you here. If you put alcohol ink on alcohol that's not quite dry, it tends to lighten the intensity up a bit, which is kind of fun too. So play around with these different techniques. Now I've had a strip of plastic hanging out on my griddle that I've set to 200 degrees, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually cut out the shape. Now this here is a fondant cutter. They come in a variety of shapes. You get these also at your kitchen store, and I've applied a little bit of petroleum jelly. This could be a mini cookie cutter, anything that has the shape that you want. And what you're going to do, make sure that you've removed your pan from the heat source, is you're simply going to cut shapes out and lift. And I find it helpful if you want to dip your cutter each time you cut out into a cold water bath. This also helps to prevent sticking, especially if you're using a plastic cutter like I'm using today. So now I've taken it out of the water bath, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to simply punch this out. Sometimes these are a little difficult to punch out because the plastic cutters don't cut all the way through, and I'm really not having that much of a problem right now. But if you do get a little bit of webbing, what you can do is you can just take your craft knife and go along that edge there, and they should pop out. So pop out all of your different shapes. Okay, so now that you have your friendly plastic out of your cold water bath and you have your shapes all punched, the fun thing to do is that you can actually use your hand punches to punch out the holes for your jump rings and things. But before you do that, one thing you want to do is you want to mark where you want to place that hole on the friendly plastic. So use a Sharpie marker or another marker that you have, and just put some marks there so you know about where you want those holes to line up. This is really helpful, and that way you don't mess up when you get your hole punched. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to align the black dot. It will be hard for you to see on camera. In fact, it's really hard for me to see. But I'm going to align the black dot, and then I'm just going to punch. Sometimes it will stick down on the punch itself, but then just take your either a pair of scissors or your craft knife and remove that extra little piece. And so you'll want to do that everywhere that you need a hole punched for a jump ring. Now you may want to embellish the center of your little flower. You can do this in a couple different ways. You can add a rhinestone like what I've done here, and just add some glue to set that rhinestone in there. Or you could have actually cut out a piece or another little smaller circle of contrasting color of friendly plastic and set it in the middle. So you've got a lot of options there. Now I'm sure that using alcohol inks and friendly plastic is going to turn you into a friendly plastic addict in no time. If you're new to jewelry making or you're new to friendly plastic, a couple things I want to share with you. First of all, my latest book, Beading in No Time. There's a whole section in here on basic jewelry making techniques, and that will help you turn your friendly plastic projects into great pieces of jewelry. Also, I want to encourage you to take classes. There's classes available online. There's classes available from some very talented and reputable instructors. Once you learn the foundations of friendly plastic, your whole friendly plastic experience is going to soar to new heights, I promise. Those foundations and those basics of friendly plastic are so important, so check those out. You can get more information about those as well as other inspiration and project ideas on our blog at friendlyplastic.blogspot.com. While you're there, check out our videos, our projects, our artist features, and be sure and contact me and send me your friendly plastic projects, because I would love to feature you on the blog. That's going to do it for this episode. I sure hope to see you again next time.